Good evening and salutations, my soap opera fans. So, as the title suggests, chase the motion on General Hospital. We're going to talk about that tonight. Okay, I got a lot to sit there and say. I feel like I haven't been streaming in a while, even though it's been like a day. But let's do roll call and get this started. Make sure you hit the like button as you're coming in. Black is in the chat. How you doing tonight? Krista is in the chat. How you doing tonight? Cherry Ice Cream is in the chat. How you doing tonight? Amy H is in the chat. How you doing tonight? Crystal is in the chat. How you doing tonight? What could be doing? Lashanta Hunter's in the chat. How you doing tonight? C Kate is in the chat. How you doing tonight? Hope everyone had a good. Hope everyone had a great day. Why the fuck does it keep doing that? Thank you. Jay Blue's in the chat. How you doing tonight? Sean is in the chat. How you doing tonight? Hope everyone had a great day. I swear, I think people are acting like it's about to be the end of the fucking world. Thank you, Lisa. Yes, hit that damn like button as you're coming in. Because it really does. It really does actually help. Seriously, it really does. We'll get Ron. I'm doing good, Sean. It was a long day, and it was very difficult to sit there and try to do the stream tonight because I was cutting it close, but I made it. So I hope you had a good day. What's good, Big Nate? Doing all right, Black Mon. I'm gonna be honest. I cannot wait to go to sleep tonight. Like I'm be honest. I cannot wait to go to sleep tonight. They were decent, Sean. They were decent. Jibu says the frosting had to go to work in the frigid weather. I've been up since five. Yeah, me too. And I mean, I don't know exactly what part of the world you're at, but I live in New York, so it's been cold. People act like it's in on the goddamn world whenever there's a bit of snow. Chicago. Oh, okay. The Windy City of Chicago. I got you. You're in Boston, so yeah, we get this. We get the same type of weather. 2 inches. Oh my God, 2 inches. 30 degrees, right? Oh, minus 30. Damn. Yeah, Lashanta Hunter, we're gonna talk about that because honestly, tell you the truth, I think that Brooklyn is lying out her goddamn ass, and I'm like, girl, just have some balls and tell them the damn truth. Okay, Ron, give me a second. What's your take on Jada and Julie? Because she was talking about conflict of interest, but it wasn't she and Stephanie are best friends. That's actually very true. I'm not gonna lie, Ron. I was actually gonna dismiss your comment for a second, but you bring up a very good point. Very good point, Ron. And Cherry's from Philly, so yeah, we get in the same weather. Yeah, it just like here's my whole thing, like, and like I'm not gonna lie, people are just pissing me the fuck off. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I honestly tell you the truth, I want to sit there and honestly knock some people's heads off. Like people walk in, they're like, "Oh my God, you're gonna have a rough day today," and I'm just like, "Well, thank you, asshole. I really appreciate that. Thank you for telling me how much of a shitty day I'm gonna fucking have at 7 o'clock in the fucking morning. No, yeah, at 7 o'clock in the fucking morning. I get people walking in like, it's gonna be snowing, it's gonna be crazy, you're gonna have a really rough day. And like this is the I want to choke the life out of you look. Like I really do. That bus was late in the morning, waited 20 minutes in that cold. Yeah, it's I try to bundle up as much as I can. But I don't know. It's like for me, it's not the end of the world. It's like whatever. It snows. It snows. You shovel is not the end of the goddamn world. Like, like I honestly tell you, I really need people to sit there and just like calm the fuck down a bit. No, I didn't enjoy. I don't. No, Ron. I don't. I don't enjoy any scene that involves Jennifer. If we're gonna be honest. Did you enjoy? No, I did not enjoy anything that involves Jen. I mean, granted, I don't hate it, but she has been a nagging Karen for quite a while. I mean, Jay Blue. Here's the thing, though. Why go for the obvious? Like, why mess with Michael when you could just sit there and mess with Michael's girlfriend? Now, here's the thing. People are upset with Chase. You should have said no, thank you to them. It's just like here's the thing, Jay Blue. When you work in retail, you're used to people saying stupid shit, and you're used to putting on a fake smile and be like, yeah, okay, sure, and you are thinking a bunch of evil fucking thoughts in your head that obviously I can't share here. What's good, Ariana? But social is people just not having really good social skills too, though. You know, like it you did. I honestly think it's just people just not having good social skills. What's good, Jonathan? Like, honestly, I really do feel like just telling people a couple of times, like, just calm your goddamn tits. It's not even gonna be that big of a deal. Like, relax yourself. I'm doing good, Ariana. How you doing? Ariana, how you doing? I swear. First of all, I want to thank you so much for being here. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like I mess up your name every single time. And I really do sit there and try to say it right, and I still do. Wait, she's messed with Jacinda? No, I'm sitting there saying like she might mess with Jacinda. Let's get wrong. I didn't get a chance to watch this video. I don't know when I'm gonna get a chance to watch this video, but um, I don't really have a take on it. I mean, it's good that somebody's giving them benefit of the doubt. Everyone that says it's okay is a. Oh, seriously, thank you. I mean, it's okay, Ron. I mean, I wasn't like super thrilled about it, but like at least somebody's giving the benefit of the doubt instead of Tweedledee and Tweedledum, fucking Alex and Stephanie. Let's go, Boston girl. I'm not gonna lie, Boston girl. You have a very good point. You have a very good point. Seriously, Cherry, you have a very good fucking point. You did sit there and say it before you start like throwing chess tables and everything like that. There's an ad about not getting enough sleep, and the cashier told the person to have a good day, and the response was, "No, thank you." Oh shit! Oh wow, that's some Stephen King shit right there. So that's some Stephen King shit right there, Jonathan. But why is Jocelyn acting like that with Ava Jerome? Because she don't like Ava Jerome. And honestly, tell you the truth, I can't. Here's the thing: I can't be upset with her. Um, like Ava's actions led to Morgan being killed. That's not something that you could just sit there and forgive. And I think it's very realistic that while she may sit there and be civil with her, she ain't gonna sit there and fake the funk. Um, I'm not gonna lie. The fact that Stephanie was in there saying that, well, when Stephanie got the gift, um, when Stephanie got the gift from EJ, well, when Stephanie got the letter from EJ, she was like, "I was expecting a gift or something like that." Yeah, she was like, "Wow, he couldn't sit there and give us a gift." I was like, "No, because you're not special, Stephanie." It was like you're not. I was like, honestly, tell you, Stephanie, you're not special. And the fact that seriously, the fact that that fucktard actually sat there and said it like, oh, she expected a wedding gift. Like, girl, he don't like you like that. Like, yeah, he worked with you and you worked for him, but like, why should he give you a wedding gift? Like, who are you? And talk about a level of fucking delusion. And it says, I think Lulu will figure out that Nathan isn't really Nathan, like the man she knew and loved. What's good, Pan? Before or after they hook up, because you know that's going to happen. Like like Boston girls said, like Chase was like, "Hey, listen, I accept any sort of consequences I get." The minute they sat there and say he was going to get a demotion, he started getting all pissy. I'm like, well, what happened to that? I, I thought you were going to have that same energy. That's true, Jonathan. That's 100% true. I 100% agree with that. Okay, Ron, that's cool. That'd be interesting. I'm not gonna lie. Like, okay, that his thing, that whole scene. First of all, the fact that Carly didn't beat the brakes off of fucking Brit is nothing short of a miracle. Okay, when she brung in Bobby's name, I was like, "Girl, you know you went too far. You know you went too far." And yes, we understand why she did what she did, but like the fact that Jason was like, well, "What did you say to her?" I was like, "Bro, seriously? You're supposed to be her bestie and everything like that." And the first thing you sit there and do, you come at Carly. You blame Carly for the whole thing, and then you sit there and say, "Oh well, like Carly is being insecure." I was like, "You known her for a while. Like you've seen her growth. You're supposed to be her bestie, and now you sit there acting like she regretted back to that woman she was 13 years ago." Yeah, Jonathan. And here's the thing. I saw it this morning, right? First of all, I mean, granted, a lot of people sit there thinking it could be Mariah because she's been going crazy and talking to herself and doing a whole bunch of other stupid shit. Um, and somebody in the bottom comment section was like, "What? The fact that she's not throwing and knocking around less, least of all, Rich. I do understand what you mean." Yeah, I mean, like from a character, but what do you mean that Laura Wright is pregnant? I mean, granted from the character, but like old school Carly would beat the bricks off of her. Like honestly, to tell the truth, and that's very true, Jay Blue. She knew that. She should have sat there and beat the bricks off of her anyway, just out of principle. Um, she showed the baby scan on her. Oh wow, okay. That's yes, Lashanta, and it was a surprise to see him. I don't know how. Oh, wow, okay. How old is Laura Ray? How old is Laura Ray? Okay, I'm not getting like. Thank you, Sean. 55. Yeah, that's in her mid 40s. No, she's 55. I'm talking about like Laura Ray. Yeah, yeah. She's 55. That's it's a little kind of up there to sit there and be pregnant on. Um, I mean, I don't. Oh, I mean, honestly, to tell you the truth, I don't really care about her getting kidnapped by Owens. I don't know who Owens is. What I do know is that she's gonna owe Jeremy a fucking apology, and Jada's gonna owe Jeremy an apology as well. So she's taking it really like, yeah. Hmm. I know, Jonathan. I saw the short too. Um, it was funny. Jay says Stella has the nerve to go off on Portia for tampering with test results and literally alternate information for her. Exactly, exactly, Jay Blue. I was like, girl, first, also the simple fact that you sit there, you coming, I did, Jonathan. You coming at a pregnant chick, you want to sit there and start getting up in a pregnant chick's face? And then Isaiah had to sit there and tell her dumbass about the fact that like she fought hard for her. She fought hard for her when those men was coming to arrest her. And yeah, she apologized afterwards, but I should tell you the truth, I was like, I really was kind of just like, yeah, I know you apologized, and I think that's great and everything like that, but girl, you can go and fuck yourself. I was like, seriously, it's like, girl, you can go and fuck yourself. Like, here's the thing: as bad as Drew is, seriously, Jerry, as bad as Drew is, I was totally okay with Drew going after Stella, especially for the simple fact that she did break the fucking law. Jerry, listen, I'm being unfiltered. What's good, Dolometics? I'm being unfiltered. Okay, I'm not here to be nice. I'm not gonna lie, Jonathan. I was a little surprised. Oh, that's who Owens is. Okay, thank you, LaShawn. I was like, I know, like Ron isn't just talking about Owens. I'm like, what the fuck is Owens? Like, no, Ron, for the 47,000th time, no. Swear to God, if you ask me that question like one more goddamn time. Yeah, it's true, but I mean, I'm really being unfiltered tonight, Ariana, and I'm not even drinking, unfortunately. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of like low key pissed off about that. I didn't have time to go to the wine store after I got home because, like, literally, I was like, if I did that, then I probably wouldn't have streamed tonight. You goddamn right, goddamn right. Nobody spared the rod, and that's from all the shows. Like literally, that's from every single one of those shows. B&B was interesting. Beyond the Gates, you're not really missing much. Bill promoted Tomas to essentially keep his mouth shut. Even though Tomas didn't sit there and like blackmail him, he pretty much kind of promoted him anyway, just to make sure, like, you know, make sure he won't say anything. That's right. He put her in her place. Johnson says, speaking of Beyond the Gates, next month is the show's first anniversary. Yep, a whole year is going to pretty much pass, and the show has gotten worse and worse every single fucking day. You're right, Ron. I didn't sit there and talk about Marlena and Belle scene. Just like I didn't sit there and talk about most of the other scenes and most of the other shows. Is there a point to that? What's good? What's good, Ranting Ricardo? It is. It's interesting. It is. Everyone say what's up to Ranting Ricardo. I got a chance to catch a little bit of your stream when I was coming home. Also, if you're not subscribed to Ranting Ricardo, definitely subscribe to her. You want to sit there and get reviews and live reactions at 2 p.m. Eastern. Check out Ranting Ricardo. Yes, definitely subscribe to her. That's right. We got a fucking legend up in the building. When you're tired, your tolerance for when you're tired, your tolerance for everything is low. I'm glad you peeped that, Jay Blue. I'm glad you peeped that. You know. Yeah, you know. Film X says it was still nice getting to see Beyond the Gates first episode screening. It has such promise. I know, and then you came in, you told us about everything, and it was like, um, I'm not gonna lie, it got us even more hyped up because you were there, you were literally there from the ground up, bro. I mean, the thing is, she kind of caught them low key doing it last time, and like, you know, you know, here's the thing, right? Why is he a fool? I want you to really sit there and think about that for a minute. The catfish me was such a dope experience. I don't regret it, but still, it's just like, I'm not gonna lie. I was super hyped when this show came out. Right? We saw the pictures of who was going to be who. 1 second, Ron. We saw the pictures of who was going to be who. We kind of had an idea of who our favorite characters was going to be. Like, I knew right off the rip, Bill was going to be my favorite character. Right off fucking rip, and he is my favorite character in the show. Ron says, "What's your thoughts on Jennifer telling Chad about Thomas and you can't trust him to stay away from God?" It was an honest conversation. It was a straight up. I'm glad you peeped that, Cherry. It was an honest conversation. You know, I will sit there and say this. I'm glad that Chad did kind of put his foot down and be like, "Yo, listen, you're not going to dictate my life." And there's times I'm going to sit there and tell you to do something. You can't just be upset and start running to Jennifer in Boston. It was an honest conversation where he was like, "You don't want cat in your life. I get that. I'm going to respect that." But he was also like, "It's a small town. I can't have you going ballistic because she drops some groceries and I help her out or I say hi to her, you know, passing by, you know." job on the line for a woman who's not his wife, a woman who he believes is innocent, even though we know she's not, is desperately trying to pin the crime on Michael. But that's the thing, though, Jonathan. Now, I'm going to focus on the second part. A woman who, even though we know, but that's the thing, though, Jonathan. We know that he's guilty. We know that she's guilty. He doesn't know that she's guilty, right? So, like, saying that he's a fool because we know that he's guilty, but he doesn't. I don't. I don't know if that's necessarily fair. Like the first part, yes, I understand putting his job on the line for a woman who's not his wife, right? Okay, I can see the merit in that. But the whole we know that he's not guilty. We know that she's guilty. We know that because we got inside the nation. Like we watched the show. I don't know. I can see some of your points though, but CK says I agree with you, Albert. I knew Daniel was going to be my favorite character, and I watched the promo for the show last year. Yeah, like we all had like ideas of who our characters was gonna be, that we were gonna like or whatever, you know. And then CK, you have to remember the intro, right? The intro, they were playing real music, you know, not to really sit there and get on the whole color thing or whatever, right? But like you had this fine, beautiful, successful black woman driving this expensive ass car, walking in a restaurant like she's royalty. Because technically, in that town, she kind of is. And that was something that you don't see on a soap opera, right? You don't see that type of stuff on a soap opera. But if we're going to be honest, there was cracks in that show from probably the first week, and I think we kind of all ignored it, right? Like the actress that played Chelsea, we got Soapfish. We like I overlooked for a while that the actress that played Chelsea couldn't fucking act, right? It was like, oh, we got Kat, she's the extra one, and then we didn't realize just how annoying that chick was gonna be. We got Leslie that was like, okay, she's gonna be the vixen, she's gonna be the villain or whatever. I didn't realize that, like every time I watch Leslie now, I'm always having my head like this. I'm always just like, how long is her scene gonna be, right? Like seriously, Jerry, we got we had Haley, who we thought was going, and this was probably the flip side. We had Haley that was like, girl, man, you mad stupid. Like, you really sitting there loving Bill? Like, given the kind of guy he is and how he got you and how he dumped his last wife, and your dumbass is still sitting there trying to chase a man who is kind of starting to lose interest in you. But the surprise was that she was playing him from day one. So, like, that was a good thing, right? The problem is the bad stuff starts to outweigh the good stuff. I remember when Steve was basically a block of wood so I can deal with bad acting and hope for the best, but just waste of potential. Yeah, but to some extent, Jay Blue, like up into that traffic cam stuff, a lot of the stuff that Willow was accused, like the stuff that the prosecutor brought in, it was also circumstantial. Um, you know, when we saw Vanessa stepping out on Doug and then realizing that they had some sort of agreement or whatever, I was like, okay, listen, this is interesting. Like, she's out there and she's sleeping on her husband and stuff like that, and she's kind of just like whatever, and it's like okay, you know, I didn't think that it got so like I guess like the point that it started to get really bad for me, where I was just like, wow, you are one low class fucking human being, is when he died, and not even a week into the ground, she's sitting there making out with Joey. I was like, wow, girl, you are a fucking low life. Like dead ass serious. You are a fucking low life. It went from okay, this is intriguing to like, wow, you're a fucking low life. The fact that she couldn't wait to get her kid out of town because she knew her kid was gonna sit there and call Vanessa for the POS that she was. Eva, who started off actually pretty interesting, to me started to get kind of annoying when she would do things that she knew that was wrong, but then tried to play them down and act like, oh well, Kat isn't there starting with me, and Kat her bougie uppity this, that, and the third. I'm like, and you sitting there fucking her man, and then you sitting there trying to argue with her about her man, talking about, oh, me and her, me and his, me and him have this connection and this, that, and the third. I was like, girl, you starting to act just like your fucking mother in the worst way possible. Naomi, who honestly tell you the truth, I liked in the beginning until I kind of realized that she had this really shitty ass attitude and Jacob was just a spineless fucking coward. So like, yeah, it's just like things like that for me were just like, plus Daniel was like, I really thought you were gonna sit there and shoot Bill, and you didn't even do that. But that's my thing with Shot the Hunter, right? CK, yeah, Vanessa's a piece of work. That was horrible the way she behaved at the dog stuff. It was fucking terrible. Then she sat there and tried to play victim and being all like, well, I have to love again and I'm tired of that they're trying to be the perfect wife and the perfect this and the perfect that. I was like, it's not that, but you don't have a fucking soul. You soulless piece of garbage. Like, are you kidding me? No mixes. I remember when I was positive Eve was going to be the next great long lost troublemaking soap kid. I knew she was going to be next coming of Kendall Hart or the '90s Carly, but nope. She just like it was a person that started doing shit and then being like, "All right, girl." Yes, yeah. I mean, and that's the thing, though, Jay Blue. Like, honestly, to tell the truth, both Dante and Chase was out of pocket because they both of their asses should have accused themselves of that whole case. Both of them should have, and they didn't. And Dante kind of realized afterwards how much he fucked up. Being like, I probably was protecting Mike on a subconscious level, but Chase was openly being um biased. He was openly being biased, and his ass getting demoted, I totally understood that, and I also understood why Dante was like, yo, listen, you have to have some sort of consequences towards your actions because your fellow officers are not going to like that. They're going to resent you. They're not going to respect you. And if you ever worked at any job, when you seen one person that would do some shit and not get in trouble, but knowing if you did the same shit, your ass would get in trouble or worse, you understand exactly how fucking irritating that is. Um, so I'm like, bro, you should be lucky. Oh, absolutely, yes. Absolutely, Ariana. Dante never knew when to step off a case. Remember, he interviewing Ava after Christina jumped. Yeah, exactly. After Christina jumped out, well, she got pushed out the window, but we're not gonna sit there and do that because then I gotta sit there and I gotta refine the whole video and like play it like a couple of times. But I get what you're saying. I got what you're saying. Nah, the dingbat. You know, Dolmex, I rock with you. I rock with your sense of humor. Exactly, Sean. Dolmex knows. Dolmex knows. He's trolling. I can't with people who do dumb shit, then can't believe they have to answer for it. Yeah, like I just like I said, I'm just gonna sit there and say like I know what it's like working with someone who does something and then gets away with it, no consequences whatsoever, and it irritates the living life out of you. Like this imbalance in the workplace where you're just like, nah, that shit ain't fucking cool. So I'm like, Chase, we gotta sit there and take that fucking demotion, take that shit like a damn man, you know? And my whole thing is like, even here's the thing, so many people was like, bro, you are out of pocket with this whole Willow thing. Justine was like, you need to stop. Alexis even was like, I don't know if you should sit there and really do that. Or she didn't just fall out the window, she got pushed out the window, but okay. Um, you're right. Still don't know. And what's good, Eagle? It's time for Chad to admit that he is more with than any other character I've ever seen. He's letting his own baby boy and grandparents control who he dates is insane. You know what? Not gonna lie, Eagle. I can see it from both points of view. I can see it from both points of view. Because I'm not gonna lie, like part of me sat there and was like, I agree with you, but at the same time, that's what it. Unfortunately, to some extent, that's what it's like when you have kids, right? Like he literally got so upset that he ran into the street and got hit by a car. You know, so it's like if it's gonna help his mental well-being by not being with that one woman, then listen, that's what it means to be a parent. You know, you can always sit there and be the household parent and be like, I'm gonna do whatever the hell I want to do, and if you want to sit there and live in Boston with with your grandparents, go right ahead. You can take that fucking route too. What's good, Tracy Staves? You can always sit there and take that action too. Is it Jennifer like Chad kid getting ran over by a car was his own fault? And Jen, she got her kids so crazy over Cat Green. Here's the thing, Eagle, and I'm not even going to sit there and lie. You're 100% correct. Thomas is a fucking idiot. A dumbass for running into the goddamn street because he saw his dad hugging Cat was the stupidest shit. And I did not feel bad for him. I was like, nobody told you dumbass to do that. Just like nobody told you dumbass to sit there and take a pumpkin launcher with with Rachel and throw it. You accident? Do you add? How did you accidentally? Bro, how did you accidentally sit there and do that? That's like me sitting there saying, there's times where it's just late at night and I'm watching adult material and I just accidentally just download a whole bunch of stuff. Like, you gotta press keys for it to download, bro. But listen, I love passions, so I ain't mad at you. That's actually pretty awesome. Listen, Jerry, I don't know about you, but I've never accidentally, well, I've downloaded that stuff on purpose, but that's beside the point, though. Alicia is terrible that WSB is using Rocco again. Britt, who should tell Jason but won't. That's true. CK, I fucking love passion. I fucking love passions. Listen, Jerry, I admit when I sit there and download something, but I don't download that stuff by accident. That shit is purely on purpose and fucking calculated as fuck. Comex says, I remember clicking on something one day and got distracted and forgot it was there. I was looking for something else and boom, there was passions. Yeah, tonight I'm going to accidentally download some stuff. Um, and I'll just call it an accident. I mean, listen, sometimes I can't control my fingers and shit just happens. Eagle says, I never knew I missed EJ this much being away. They need to bring him. Oh, he's coming back next week, Eagle. He's coming back next week. Domex says, I'm over 40. I probably just forgot, kind of like when you go into a room and forget what went in there, what you went in there for. I'm going to let that go, but okay. I mean, and I'm not going to lie, Domex, I have done that before too. How you compare my passions download to your accidental research. I mean, it's just fingers, Sometimes I'm just doing stuff and it's like, oh shit, I didn't mean to look up that stuff and then that specific thing and then just hit download key. I'm sorry, I can't stretch that joke any further. Like I can't. In case I might look up episodes of Passions on YouTube. You They're so good. What's good, Kaiwan? Oh, okay, that's interesting, Kaiwan. Priest Chicken Wine are like, how did we get it to this point? One of the most pointless stories. I'm not gonna. Terry says it's called not being tech savvy. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Jerry. I can't stretch out that joke anymore. I, uh, but hey, listen, I love passion, so I'm not gonna lie, Eagle. Like this whole Mariah. First of all, Eagle. First of all, I can't believe that there are fans of Mariah and Tess. Like I cannot believe that because they don't give those two idiots anything to do. Mariah and her constant fucking and that's somebody said this in the comment section. Somebody was like, you know what, listen, I'm sick and tired of Mariah and her constant self-loathing. And somebody was like, well, she's going through mental health issues. Have some compassion. I'm like, no offense, but we don't necessarily fully tune in for mental health issues. We tune in for entertainment. I'm sick and tired of watching. Yes. Have a good night, Sean. I'll sit there and see you tomorrow. I'm like, we're watching it for entertainment. I'm sick and tired of Mariah talking to herself, right? Because yeah, the one, the one is blowing hard. Oh, the wind is blowing hard tonight. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Cherry. That's another reason why I didn't go out later on. Like, cause I wanted to get some wine, but I was like, I'm not gonna lie, that shit is blowing kind of hard. I was like, I get back, that means I'm gonna have to sit there and take time to like warm up and like. Jiglu says I actually need to download things while falling asleep. What kind of things do you accidentally download while when you're falling asleep? CK Samurai Sterling is stupid. Now she is supposed to kidnap Dominic. It is stupid, and here's the thing. This is just telling you something that how much, and that's the thing, CK. They don't care about Mariah and Tess. They don't care. Like, how long has this Mariah story been going on for? It's like they started, then they stop it, right? They started, then they stop it. Um, like we saw her talking to that priest like almost like a month ago. Actually, about a month and a half ago. Johnson says, "I almost forgot. I still need to send you the clips." No, it's not too late, Jonathan. Seriously, whenever you get a chance, seriously, yeah. So when you get a chance, Jonathan, send it to me. This way, I can screen record it and then just upload it onto um. No, absolutely not, Jonathan. Jonathan, you know how much I fucking love passion. So, and would not shock me if Victor does something to Kane's family to force him to back off. Yeah, I saw the previews. I'm not gonna lie, I was like, that old man really does not want to sit there and lose his money, does he? And then, I'm not gonna lie. Nikki was like, this isn't even about the prestige or the money or anything like that. I was like, girl, it is 100% about the fucking money. The fact that Nikki was like, us losing our family business. This isn't about the prestige or the power or the money. I was like, Nikki, you started off as a fucking stripper. What are you talking about? Are you having a fucking senior moment? Like, I noticed that this bougie ass chick did not sit there and say them losing the family company and the family fortune is not about money or prestige or power. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Why not really wants you to feel awful about rich people losing their money to talk about. And that's another thing, like, LaShawn says, where is Lee's sister's poppy at? Yeah, they show Lee a lot with Sheila. That is correct. That's what they said in the previews. I'm not gonna lie, like Nikki had me laughing when she said that. I was like, it just this is what you call people who are just not self-aware. Like there's no self-awareness whatsoever. I mean, it's usually no self-awareness when it comes to us, Nikki, but like you gotta like sometimes I'm watching this in the mornings before I go to work. Right. So I'm watching this like 5:30 or 5 o'clock in the morning, having my latte and everything like that. I was like, oh, I know this chick did not say this shit. I was like, I know this chick did not say this shit. So I'm thinking about that throughout the rest of the day, like, and that's another thing, like how in the world? See, this is what like got me with Chelsea, and Chelsea was like, "Oh, I can't believe you're they're coming after Victor to like Phyllis and stuff like that." I don't even. Let me tell you something. I don't even like Phyllis. I don't even like Phyllis. But Phyllis is like, what are you talking about? Victor swallows up companies and I destroy people's lives for fucking years. And what you want to sit there and come over here and start talking about how much of an evil person I am for doing something to Victor, what Victor has been doing to people for years? Like what? Exactly. I'm like, why the fuck do you like and then Victoria as here's the thing, I kinda like Victoria at times, but I was like, Victoria, you sit there coming at Kane talking about, well, I told Lily and the kids what you did, and they're disappointed with you. And at the point, Kane was like, I don't care. Because in all reality, why the fuck should a man sit there and care about a bunch of ungrateful brats who wants to write off their dad and constantly sit there and try to appease a woman who is constantly moving the goalposts, you know? Which, listen, I don't understand how any man in a right mind wants to sit there and date Lily. Um, Either heaven help them or they got some low fucking standards. Because, like, it's not that Lily isn't pretty, she's just annoying, to put it lightly. You know, I'm glad that you came in here tonight, Jonathan. Eagle says, can we all laugh that Alex bodyguard is a 7-year-old man with one eye unless he's strapped? I want to do like the Terminator protecting me if he's if hired, not an old man that can barely walk. All right, have a good night, Jay Bloom. Thank you for joining. It's great to see you. But here's my whole thing, right? I know, Jonathan. A lot of times you talk about how you would like to have a character come back on the show, right? I have no, I had an idea who Steffi Stalker is. Like you always talk about, like you wanting the character to come back or something like that, right? And it just made me sit there and think about the characters that they have on the show. I feel like they need to kind of beef up the stories that are already with the characters that we have, like Ari. Then they just get somebody else on the show, you know? Like they're getting rid of 4 people. I don't need them to add 4 more people if their story is going to be shit. Like, because then it's just like, well, what about the rest of the people that's on the show? Phyllis is going to regret coming after Victor because Summer will not speak to her for a long time. I want Phyllis to be just as cold as Kane. Because honestly, tell you the truth, Daniel was about to come at Phyllis with another sanctimonious fucking speech, and Phyllis was like, "I'm not listening to this," and walked away. You know, I mean, Daniel was like, "Well, I don't understand why you're coming after the Newmans and coming after Victoria and coming after people that didn't do anything to you." And I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" The Newmans had fucking crushed people and companies for years. And your dumbass is sitting there talking about what? Not to mention, remember, Daniel's the same person that was sitting there coming at Billy talking about, well, his new company is going to fail. And you don't have a goddamn job. Okay? You don't have a fucking job. You're essentially kind of a bum at this point. And the last time I checked, a bum does not get to sit there and start making comments and remarks and disrespectful remarks towards a person who has a job. What's good, Darby? Chase should be demoted to school crossing guard. What's good, Dave? Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Ariana. Like Phyllis gets on my nerve. I'm not gonna lie, she there is times. And I think it was like maybe last week. Phyllis is looking kind of good. I'm not gonna lie, Phyllis is looking like a fucking snack. But Phyllis has gotten on my nerves a couple of times. But with that being said, she's not wrong for going after Victor. Victor has screwed Phyllis over so many goddamn times. But like the show wants to sit there and try to have us act like, oh, poor Victor and the Newman. Like, get the fuck out of here. The fuck are you talking about? I mean, poor Victor, my ass. It's a good question. It's a good question. Oh, I'm not gonna. I wish one of Lily's ungrateful ass kids, will come back. Aaron says, I love Phyllis because she doesn't spare the rod. I can respect that. I'm a big believer in not sparing the rod. CK said, yeah, Daniel was a hypocrite. I agree. Daniel should mind his own business because if Phyllis is a train wreck, so is he. Daniel's a fucking loser. Like, Daniel's a fucking loser. And I wouldn't sit there and say you're a loser because you don't have a job. I would sit there and say you're a loser because you don't have a job. You want to sit there and start judging somebody who does have a job. That's what makes him a fucking loser. And you're a loser with a fucking daughter. So, like, how are you paying your bills? Because I'm pretty sure mommy and daddy or daddy is probably sitting there paying their bills with, you know, his rock star money that he's um, getting, even though he comes across as a fucking washed up rock star, but whatever. You know, it's funny, LaShawn. Like a lot of people liked her when she was on General Hospital, but then when I started watching The Young and Restless, I kind of realized that like Michelle Stafford was just playing Nina. No, Michelle Stafford was just playing Phyllis on General Hospital. She was literally just playing Phyllis. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I know they're a super couple from like the like fucking ancient days and shit. That a lot of more old timers kind of like, and that's cool. Darby says, Phyllis, please tell Summer if she's mad. Tell her to step the F4. Victor has effed her over, and the worst way a woman can get done over. And Phyllis and Summer always comes on her grandfather's side. Screw Summers. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't a huge fan of Summer when she was on the show, when I was watching her. And she did a lot of stupid ass shit. And the way that she acted sometimes was like, damn, it's like, I know that Phyllis is bad, but like, you're kind of just as shitty as fucking Phyllis. You know, Michelle Stafford was playing Phyllis on there. Um, and I think that's just because Michelle Stafford, she can't play any other character really other than Phyllis. She was Phyllis. And here's the thing. That's the same thing with Kristen Storms. When Kristen Storms was on Days of Our Lives, she played fucking Maxie. She played Maxie. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't get away from that in a sense. It's like when it's like when Steve it's like when Steve B was on Days of Our Lives playing Harris Michaels or whatever. I was like, come on now, that's just fucking Jason. No, we did Ariana, but it's like even like I said, even like Steve B was literally playing Jason on Days of Our Lives. You know, I only bring that up because like the whole Nina thing. And you know, granted, I only noticed it after I started watching her on The Young and the Restless. Yeah, he exactly. He's always Jason. I ain't mad at him. I mean, it is what it is. It just makes me think about Kane, right? It just makes me think about Kane, like, and then I think about Billy Flynn, and I'm like, how much more of a different character is he? Like, I feel like he's almost playing the same character in a sense. It's just one is just like more of a business mogul in a sense, as opposed to him just being not gonna lie, kind of boring and dull character on Days of Our Lives. And I like the actor, and I don't think that Chad's a bad character, but like he's pretty fucking dull. Like it's like Chad needs to be thrown in stuff to like make him interesting. Oh, he's Trick is coming back. It's okay. I agree. Those actors can't sit the characters that they have played for such a long time. Yeah, I mean, I think with Kristen Storms, I think that's just how she plays a character. Like, there's a lot of stuff that comes to her naturally that she just says, and it just like if she's Belle or if she's Maxie, she's going to come across the same way in a sense. Hell, I think that people sat there and said that in her movies that she made these really cheesy Disney movies, and people have sat there and said that like she kind of playing like a young Maxie in those movies with like Z or Zora or some shit like that. Derby says, I would please tell Steve if they're paying big bucks for Jason anywhere, don't charge anything acting wise. Or don't change anything acting wise. Yes. Well, and most people sit there and say that that shit was definitely broken, but here's my thing. Here's my thing with Steve being Jason on Days of Our Lives. People miss the Jason character. You know, he got fired from General Hospital. A lot of people felt like that was unfair. So when he got on Days of Our Lives and he started pretty much acting the same character, it's like, well, we got a little bit of Jason. Yeah, he's on a different show, but we still got the actor. He's still playing that very monotone kind of like character. So like him being Jason on Days of Our Lives worked because people missed his character. He kind of lucked like he kind of lucked out, and Days kind of lucked out on GH's decision. And I say decision. Do you think Chase leaving GH? No. I mean, I only wouldn't mind it because you know General Hospital has too many fucking people on the show. Everyone says I used to hear people say that about Steve all the time. I mean that he's always playing Jason, or just a whole like. Like I said, days lucked out. They capitalized on Jay's decision to do what they did. So no, Darby Chase didn't get fired. That they got Jason on days. Yes, and Kevin, you think that Willow kills Michael's new girlfriend? Oh, at that, I mean, listen. Let me put it this way: if that happens, yeah, then that actress is definitely going. Like, the sad thing is that she would be well, obviously at that point when they do find out, she would go to jail, and essentially the actress would leave the show, even though you know Sonny killed a fucking FBI agent, and this dude is sitting there walking around sitting pretty like there's no tomorrow. So two actors committed murder, and only one of them is actually going to suffer consequences. Yeah, but Kevin, I did sit there and say Spike Crick says, "I bet ain't no one care about Jagger's case." Then I think that you're missing the point, Spider Quake. Like by a lot. And regardless if no one cared about Jagger case, that's not the point. The point is that Sonny should be in fucking jail for what he did. Dude should not be walking free because no one cares about Jagger case. But how you doing, Spider Quake? But yeah, I did sit there and say that though. I was like, most likely Willow is gonna probably come for just send. I mean, listen, this chick was bold enough to sit there and do something to Drew after she got away with attempted murder. She feeling herself. She feeling high and just super um super cocky. So I'm just not just saying I wouldn't put it past Willow to do something to you know more ethics don't apply to soap stories, especially not cheated. Well, no, of course not. But like I said, I just you know, yeah, I'm like, Broski still sat there walking around like shit is cool, and I'm like, bro, I see Carly sitting there talking to Sitwell. Listen, Willow go after Sitwell. Um, I think at that point it'll be a wrap for Willow. Like I don't know if I don't know if Willow's that cocky. I mean, she definitely cocky, but if she do that, that's gonna sit there and get her 6 feet under. 6 feet under. Speaking of B&B, listen. In the beginning, when Electra was there telling when the lecturer was sitting there lecturing Dylan for having dinner with Will, it was like, yo, listen, she was just sitting there doing laundry. You weren't there. And they just had some dinner. Like, relax. Like, it's not a big deal. Like, he didn't want the food to go to waste. Like, you said you're talking about, well, you crossed the line. Like, what are you talking about? They live in the same damn house. Like, but when I saw the previews, I was like, Dylan, you're a fucking snake. You're a goddamn fucking snake. And if they toss your ass out and you have to live in that goddamn car again, then so be it. Maybe you should sit there and suck it up and be like, I'll go back to my parents' house and just deal with that. Darby says, Albert, do you think Willow's going to show Chase her true face before she kills him, telling him how she snowed him completely? I think it would be. I think it would be interesting. I don't think that GH is actually that creative. Um, but from a fan's perspective, like what a fan would want to sit there and see, absolutely. But GH is not that creative, and they don't have the balls to do something like that. Yeah, he played a character named Dylan, um, and unfortunately, I can't. People said that he was different. I'm gonna have to take people's word for it because I don't have. I don't know. Maybe I'll watch a couple of clips or whatever. I guess I do have time to watch some clips. Of course, I wish I could sit there and show people clips of the Young and Restless, but CBS be acting like dicks to people, so Yep, 24 people. Okay, but yeah, 24 people in the chat. Okay, okay, all right, that's good. We're good. GH is very like it's weird. It's like I feel like GH is very hesitant when it comes to his killing characters off, even though they did kill awesome characters, right? Like they killed off Sam, they killed off Dax, um, they killed off Cyrus, they killed off Austin. You know, Hope is a fucking idiot. Hope is a fucking idiot. Like Stephanie's like, yo, listen, I don't want Sheila talking to my mom, but but Deacon will sit there and protect her. Deacon will sit there and make sure nothing happens. How do we know that Sheila's gonna do something? I was like, let me tell you something. You are selfish as fuck. If Stephanie's sitting there telling you, Sheila will come after my mom, and she's clearly self-centered and has no respect for other people, because Taylor was like, we shouldn't even be having this conversation. What's good to have then? She was like, we shouldn't be having this conversation. And what does Hope do? She continues to have the same conversation for 20 fucking minutes, as though, like, yeah, I don't care what you said. I'm going to say what I want to say. And it's about me and my feelings and what I want. And I have, like, I just, but I'm like, well, what do you expect from a woman who sat there and remarried Leo, right? Like, this is the level of stupidity that I've come to know and expect from Hope. Daria says all Steve has to do is get a role in Beyond the Gate to become a member of the I Was Once on every soap. Well, well, why does he need to get it? Why does he need to get one on Beyond the Gates? because technically he wasn't like technically he wasn't on the Ball and the Beautiful. Yes, he was on the Young and the Restless, but he wasn't on. Mm, I mean, I'm like I'm not trying to nitpick or anything like that, but like the Young and the Restless, but he wasn't on Ball and the Beautiful, right? I mean, like technically, yeah, I get what you're saying, but I was like, technically, by him being on Beyond the Gates or being on the Young and the Restless, he is on Beyond the Gates. That's all good, but I was like, technically, he is on Beyond the Gates, since the Young and the Restless and Bold and the Beautiful and Beyond the Gates is in the same universe. I heard, and this is just a rumor, which I normally don't like spreading, but I heard that Chelsea and Kat from Beyond the Gates are going to be meeting and probably working with Lauren Finmore from The Young and the Restless. I hope they have an in person. Yeah, that most people probably forget about Born and Beautiful, but I hope that they have an in person collab, and not that phone tag shit that Ridge and Danny did, which went in fucking nowhere, by the way. Thank you to Havlin, you as well. People buying up shit like it's the end of the goddamn world. Like they're gonna be snowed in for like at least 2 or 3 days. I'm like, yeah, seriously need to calm the fuck down. If you have me on Sundays live, I can tell you my new ideas for. Yeah, sure. Yeah, absolutely. Of course, Jonathan. I got you. In case that I heard that too, it's supposed to be another crossover episode. Yeah, I hope they do it in person. Yeah, absolutely, Jonathan. I hope they do it in person. I mean, I listen. I like the ideas that they're doing crossovers. I wish they would have did more meaningful crossovers, like the Bold and the Beautiful and Young and the Restless. Like they had Esther come on the Bold and the Beautiful at one point, um, with Lauren Fenmore, and it didn't really do much of anything. But like it's only late Saturday through Thursday into early Monday. Oh, well, ain't no big deal. Like I said, it's snow. Exactly. I was like, people, like I said, people be bugging. People really be fucking bugging. I'm like, yo, can y'all like calm the fuck down a little bit? Like, and I'm not gonna lie. Plus, it just kind of irritates me every time I'm working and somebody walks up to me like, "Did you hear about the snow?" Yes, I heard it through 50 fucking people so far. Thank you for being the 51st person to sit there and tell me about that. Really appreciate it. Yeah, me too, Darby. Put on my snow boots and go to work. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, like, yo, listen, I'm making that fucking money. Like, careful that live in New York, New Jersey, they said we're getting a lot of snow. Yeah, be careful out there, you driving and stuff like that. Oh yeah, that happened. I have a potting off at times. I try to tame it sometimes, but I do, Cherry. I do try to tame it. You know, want my videos to be monetized, so I gotta watch the level of the amount of cursing I do. But I guess that's like, yo, listen, it's snowing. Like, I just think that just people like just relax and chill. Like everything's gonna be fine. Like, take it slow and easy. You buy more shit that they actually need, and then they don't realize half of the stuff they don't use. It just goes bad. So the money won't deposit into my account by itself. I gotta show. I gotta show for the cash. Oh, you don't get direct deposit? Yeah, I said. Listen, I set that shit up a long time ago. Oh, I set that up in my last job. That you was like, yo, listen, I'm not going to my job to sit there and see y'all people in order to get my paycheck. Like, I don't want to sit there and see y'all people on my day off. No offense, but I don't. Oh, you do direct deposit. Okay. I was like, I'm not like no. I know some people that don't do it and they refuse to do it. It's like, why the fuck are you sitting there coming in here? Like, just to pick up a check. Like, it's a waste of money to sit there and go down there for all that. Like, no, fuck that. I want to wake up and have that shit in my account so I can do what I need to. I gotta show up. Oh, and work. Oh yeah, of course. Oh yeah, I feel you on that. I thought you was one of those people that's like very opposed to like direct deposit. I try not to argue with people. Seriously, Jared's like I don't. Like no offense, I don't need to see how people on my day off. How many times I've showed up to work on my day off to get my check and be like, hey, do you want to work? I'm like, no. I was like, no. I had a whole afternoon plan of doing things I can't talk about or whatever, but like I had a whole plan to do stuff. And that plan was not involved coming to work. That's why I used to seriously. That's why I used to. I'm not gonna lie. That's why I used to kind of hate when people used to call me in or try to call me in like, "Oh, somebody called out. You want to come into work?" No, like no. I'm like yeah, now like money and stuff like that. But I'll be honest, like I don't like having my fucking day off. You know, like I think just mentally, you know, I need that day off to just decompress. You know, that's the $1 million question, LaShawn. I never picked up my phone on my days off. I used to do that shit. I used to do that shit. I used to pick it up, and then I'm not gonna lie, I used to feel kind of guilty for being like no, and so I just stopped answering my I just stopped answering my phone because like I didn't like the pressure. I didn't like feeling like I was being pressured into coming into work. Exactly, charity for a reason. Exactly. I'm like, remember they called me one time at like 9 in the morning, and I think I was surprised I didn't curse them out. But the only reason why I picked up the phone is because they called me twice. And I'm sitting there thinking, oh shit, am I actually supposed to sit there? Like, am I actually supposed to sit there and go into work or whatever? Like, I'm sitting there thinking I'm like late or whatever. So I answered the phone. It was like, oh, somebody called out. You want to sit there and come in? This was on a Saturday in the afternoon, this isn't a Saturday where it's like I had a member stream on a Saturday night. I was like, no, I can't do that. And I only answer because they call me twice. I'm like, what the fuck you call me? Like, is this an emergency or something? Like, why are you calling me twice for? But like, no, I'm not doing that. Debbie said that world will turn and continue without you, Albert. That's the rule you need to remember. Well, I mean, yeah, of course, Dari. It's just like when my jobs used to first call me, I felt kind of weird and a little guilty for like turning them down or whatever. Like they took the time to sit there and call me and everything, and I'm like, no, I don't want to. And then I just got to a point, I was like, I'm just not even gonna answer. Like I'm just not even gonna answer the phone. I would listen to the voicemails, like, thank God I didn't answer that goddamn phone call. But especially if it's at night, like I'm not doing a night shift or whatever. Yeah, Darby. Yeah, I'm human, even though I like to think of myself as a god. I'm still human. Um, Especially when they call me in like afternoons, though. I got a memory stream to do. Really quick says, do you think the snowstorm happens this week? I think it's overhyped. It's usually overhyped. I forgot somebody said that in the chat. Where is it? I don't remember what they said, but it's like you said it was going to like happen for like 3 days or whatever. You tell me what happens on Behind the Gates. I didn't see it. I will later. But what happens? Only thing that I would sit there and say that was well, Derek is acting like a loser. Derek is acting like a loser, and Bill promoted Tomas because he saw because Tomas saw Bill kiss Danny. Now Tomas didn't blackmail him into giving him that promotion. He just walked in and was like, "What happened? What's going on? Like, what you come into the office for?" And he just gave him a promotion. I guess that was like to kind of buy his silence, but like you gave him that was the only thing that really wanted to happen that I can sit there and think of. Ariana says on my says off my work phone has to be on for obvious reasons, but my private phone is off. Yeah. Well, yeah, it's obviously different because you're a doctor and stuff, so it's like you're dealing with life and death situations, and somebody calls you for. Terry says I used to go in to take my mind when I was dealing with Brady stuff. I would take my mind off. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was pretty much about it. Like I said, like not a lot. That's the thing. Like not a lot wound up happening on Beyond the Gates. Like yeah, Derek came in there, start acting like a weirdo. To Ashley and Ashley's new person that she's dating. Leslie came in once again, acting all nasty and like obsessive, telling us she needs to back off, otherwise I'm gonna get you when you're not looking. Like I was gonna sit there and say something. I was like, what, I'm not gonna go there. But Leslie acting like her usual cartoonist self. Um, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what that dude's name is. Oh, Isaiah. Isaiah needs to get into something other than like him kissing on what you call it on Eva. I'm not gonna lie, that shit is starting to get kind of like it's starting to get kind of boring. I'm not gonna lie, like maybe they just like have those scenes because they're two good looking people, or whatever. But like Broski needs to sit there and start bringing more to the damn table. Yeah. What's good, Chikaris? How you doing today? I've been good. How about you? How about you, Chikaris? How have you been? I just, honestly tell you the truth, for Beyond the Gates, I feel like the show just moves at like. I'm glad to hear that. I saw some pictures or whatever in your story. That's the subject, Chikaris. I'm very happy for you. So that's good, man. I'm very happy for you. That's what's up. Oh, I'm not gonna lie. I almost forgot Isaiah's name. I feel like sometimes there's certain points where this show will just have these scenes that are just like, Here's the thing, um, Ariana. It's a chore. Beyond the Gates is a fucking chore to sit there and watch. When I watch all the soap operas, that's good. That's good, Chikaris. When I'm when I'm when I'm watching all the soap operas, I make sure that I do not do Beyond the Gates last. Okay, so I make sure I end my run with either Bold and the Beautiful or Young and the Restless, because it's so much of a damn chore. Like, I do it because I run the channel and stuff like that. But besides that, I'm like, yeah, that shit is that shit is work. Because these characters, like the characters, the stories, just kind of annoy me. It, Vanessa is just a fucking bubble-headed idiot. Okay, so she's running an escort business. And the guy on the phone was like, "Yo, listen, I don't want my wife to be, um, I don't want you to be essentially selling one of your man whores to my wife." And Vanessa started trying to talk to this guy like she was like a receptionist or whatever. So the dude paid her a visit in person. And you would sit there and think, okay, you know what? Maybe this shit is getting a little kind of serious. I need to sit there and watch how I move, right? He was like, listen, I want I don't want my wife to have anything to do with your business or whatever. This chick decided she wanted to talk about his sex game and pretty much why his wife became a client in the first place, and pretty much to start like bashing him about like his sex or whatever. So the dude got angry and grabbed her arm, and she was like, unhand me or whatever. But it wasn't until Randy came in that the dude was like, okay, you know what? Let me kind of chill out. I'm like, why would you think it's a good idea to antagonize this guy even further if he's already in your face, angry as hell, and you think it's a good idea for you to sit there and start shooting your goddamn mouth and thinking you're not going to have any sort of consequence whatsoever? Like it just like scenes like that, or watching a scene with or watching a scene sounds like she tried to mind f him into becoming a new customer. Yeah, I think she tried to mind f him and into dropping her ass. Like that's what that shit sound like. You gonna sit there and get smart with a dude that's in your face? It's like, I'm like, unless you know like some mad kung fu skills or something like that, you might want to slow your fucking roll. Or Chelsea's sitting there popping pills with her straight lace doctor. Madison is a doctor, and you honestly sitting there telling me that you taking pills she's gonna be cool with that shit. Like, what are you doing? And then she sat there and complained to complained to Kat talking about, oh well, she's trying to sit there and act like my mom, and I gotta sit there and suppress my behavior and not act like my authentic self around her. I was like, the reason why you did that shit is because you knew that she was going to sit there and have problems. That's why you did it. What's good, Charles? That's why you did it. You know, I'm like, well, you know, Chelsea has always been a character who I felt to this day is just vapid as fuck. Like like seriously, you're an influencer and she's a doctor. You know, I'm all up for opposites attract, and I never really sit there and try to like I'm not trying to shame influencers or content creators, but like in all reality, how do you even have conversations? Where she's sitting there worried about her algorithm, making sure that like her videos get seen. Your girlfriend's a fucking doctor that's dealing with life and death situations. Like, like what kind of conversations are y'all supposed to even be having? Like, I think the only reason why they got together was because they liked how each other looked. That was it. Everything else, they didn't really have anything else. CK says, I haven't really watched Born and Beautiful since the original Sefri was on one episodes. Last time I mean, I wouldn't endorse the show, but I would endorse the show more than Beyond the Gates. Hell, I would endorse a show called Hollywood before I tell you why Beyond the Gates, but you already watch it, so that's how I look at that shit anyway. But ugh, unfortunately, I gotta end the stream here. I gotta wake up hella early, 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm gonna be honest, my ass is getting tired as fuck since I've been out since 2:30 this morning. I'm gonna end the stream here, but I do want to thank everyone for hanging out Friday night. Y'all could have been anywhere. Y'all chose to be here. And I do appreciate every single one of y'all for coming through. Oh yeah, I definitely am Darby. I was like, my black ass needs to be in bed. I was like, my ass needs to be in bed. Should need to be in bed like fucking 20 minutes ago, but you know, I love sitting there talking to y'all people. So, but members, I will sit there and see y'all tomorrow. If you're not a member, make sure you join. Be careful for the snow and all that other stuff. And I'll sit there and see everybody else. I'll see y'all next week. Become a member so I can see y'all this weekend. But yes, have a night, Pan. Have a night, CK. Have a night, Darby. Have a night, Cherry Ice Cream. Have a night, Ariana. Thank you for joining. Have a good night, Letitia. I'm not gonna lie, I'm so sad. I've been fucking up your night. I've been fucking up your name all night. So I am really bad with names. But thank you for coming through though. Appreciate you. Thank you, Cherry Ice Cream. Thank you, Darby. Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you, Blackmon. Thank you, Delamex. Even though I think that Delamex might be asleep at this point right now. Um, and anybody else, you know who you are. Charles, have a good night. And yeah, thank you, Darby. I know, no, but you know, she's fairly new to the channel, so you know, I got to sit there and apologize to her because you know, I think I always tend to be fucking up people's names. Like I'm not even gonna sit there and be like, I mess up here. No, I do fuck it up. But I mean well. But yes, I'll sit there and see y'all in the next stream. Okay. All right. Well, enjoy, Charles. And have a good night. Laters.